Hello, and welcome to episode 7 of Talking About. This segment, we're going to be talking to a young lady who actually is very young in terms of being in the performing arts, but her wisdom is that of a really old person. She's really actually quite senile in many ways. So look, I'll just get straight into it because she's quite a complex person, you know. So this week we're talking to Ho Lee Ching. Hi, Lee.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, okay. Happy, healthy, calm, deep breath. That's the way. Right. Okay. You do so many things in the performing arts. So I think as far as our audience is concerned, one of the questions they would probably like me to ask you is, how did you get started in theatre?
I think it was after SPM, and I was waiting for my results, and then I stumbled upon a course by you actually. It was Hasham's Acting for Beginners class. So I got a taste of acting in your class, but I only actually really started theatre after T4YP. Yeah, so I joined T4YP in 2012 when it was under...
Was that the first batch?
No, it was like the 5th batch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was under Chris back then. Chris Ling,
yes.
So...
And that got you...
That got me, because I think it was running for 6 months, intensive 6 months, so I experienced a lot and learned a lot, and then it made me feel like, I really want this to be part of my life. Yeah.
Okay. But prior to that, had you had any idea of what you may have wanted to do?
After your class, I did really enjoy what I did, but I was still studying, so I couldn't multitask very well. So I stayed away from theatre. It made me very sad, but I had to stay away because...
Okay. So you mentioned T4YP. Presently, or over the last few years, you've been very heavily involved in T4YP, in organising, in teaching, in directing, taking classes. What do you like most about what you do in T4YP?
I think I like working with young, new actors who really want to learn the craft. And there's a certain energy to these people, like they're very eager and they want to try everything. And that energy is, I feel like a lot of practitioners become jaded after a few years, but these new people, there's so much energy that they can give and give and give, and I feel that's really wonderful to be able to work with this kind of young people and to see what they see in the world right now also. It's very interesting.
What is it that apart from organising it practically single-handedly, what is it that you do?
Well,
you give classes.
I give classes, but I schedule the auditions and all the emails and stuff like that. And then I guess I also become that person of contact to these students.
The go-to person.
Yeah, the go-to person. So like if they have any issues before classes, during classes, after classes, like I'm the person they go to.
But you're also involved in their end of semester production, right?
Yeah, so I started handling T4YP in 2016. And then because Mark was directing it, so Mark somehow got me involved, and that's how I started directing as well with him, and it was more of device work.
Good. So do you see... I hope so. Do you see T4YP as an important stepping stone for people who are involved in the performing arts?
I think it's really important.
Yeah?
I think what was created back then and what is being created now is equally important, because where are we going to where else? I mean, do we get a free program? What we only want is your commitment as a young actor to commit for 4 to 6 months. Right now it's 4 to 5 months, and get trainings from teachers, and then you get to do shows, and you get to feel what an ensemble feels like.
Right.
So you really get a theatre experience. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And
So you've seen both sides,
yeah,
as a participant and now as a teacher come director.
Yeah,
for
and I
T4YP.
didn't think that was it was going to be
You
my
didn't
journey.
think,
Yeah,
you
I
didn't think it would ever happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to talk about a subject that
Oh my God, we got to censor that. Sorry.
I'd like to talk, exactly. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about your Tourette syndrome.
Yeah.
Maybe you can explain to us what it is, what Tourette
Okay.
syndrome is, and how it affects your life.
Okay, Tourette syndrome is what you just saw, and it's a neurological disorder. Some might prefer to say it as a neuropsychiatry disorder, characterized by tics. So tics are tics are involuntary and sudden repetitive movements, or that's motor, or vocal sounds, which I have both. That's why it's Tourette's. So that's basically what Tourette's is on the surface, but underneath that iceberg, there's a lot of comorbidities such as OCD. Like, it comes in a package: ADD, anxiety disorder, and what I've recently discovered and have a lot of problems with is my executive dysfunction. Yeah. So that one actually, I mean, yes, my tics affect my life.
Yes.
Because I don't go to public places a lot, and like I don't try out new things, and I become very hyper vigilant when I'm around people.
Can you explain for people who don't know what executive dysfunction is?
Okay, so executive function is basically like, you know, in airports you have the air traffic system control, so it's like very
Yes.
So that's what it does in your brain. So it manages, it organizes, it plans, it prioritizing tasks. So it deals with your working memory, your cognitive functions, how you start tasks and end tasks. So I have problems in all those areas.
Okay.
Which makes my life a bit not structured.
Tell me about it.
Yes, you would know because I work at you. So.
Yes.
But yeah, and it also affects my multitasking level. I mean, a lot of people say that they cannot multitask. Well, yes, to a certain level, but I really cannot. So let's say when I plan for T4YP, that's the only thing I can do in that few months, because there's no space.
Yeah, there are no other compartments that you can go into. Okay, so, what about, one more question about your OCD, your Tourette's syndrome. How does it affect your work as an actor? Because you are a wonderful actor. What I've noticed, what everyone has noticed actually, who has worked with you in your capacity as an actor, that when you're on stage, it's not the least bit obvious that you have Tourette's. Can you explain that?
Okay. So acting gets me into the space where I'm mentally, emotionally, and physically aligned towards and moving towards a passionate goal, which somehow just makes it so much easier for the tics to just disappear. It's like magic. So for some people with Tourette's, it's painting that makes them feel that way. Like it just disappears. For some people, it's singing. So it's something to do with the artistic side also, I believe. But we don't know what it is. But it's that when you get into that zone, it's just woo.
Okay, so it's more or less a situation whereby you are tuned into...
tune in. I wouldn't just say focus, because focus you can be...
No, focus is different. So you're tuned into something, and it just sees you through the entire performance, which is amazing, because I've seen you, I mean, I've directed you on stage, and you were not off the stage for an entire hour and a half.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of work to do, and yet no one would ever guess that yet when you're in the audience, this is what you do when you're in the audience.
And backstage.
Yes, and backstage. Yes, we can hear you sometimes in the theatre.
So before I start the show, I have to like,
yes.
And then after the show, it goes like crazy again. Yeah.
You have a social conscience when it comes to making work, doing work, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, and that's inspired by your condition?
Very much so.
Would you like to tell us?
Very much so. So my first solo directorial work outside T4YP Emergence is something called OCD.
Yeah, which I thought was brilliant, by the way. Yes. I hated it, but I thought it was brilliant. I found it very stressful because I am a little bit OCD. Yeah.
You go through. So that was actually the thought came out when I was in the midst of doing my night ritual before I go to bed. So I go to bed and I get up and I wash my hands. I go to bed and oh no, it's not clean enough. So I go up. So I'm like, oh my God, this entire thing is a show.
Sure, right.
So that started with that thought. But then I thought about it again and then like, I feel like, oh, this could be a show where people like me would not feel so alone. And I think it's great for people to see what OCD really is like. It's not just a quirk, you know. People actually go through stressful situations, frustrations,
absolutely.
And so stressful with so much anxiety. And I wanted people to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, within our circle here and the outside theatre circle,
Mummy.
No, not mummy. You have gained a rather enviable reputation as being a movement director, and you incorporated movement in OCD as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Why?
I feel me as a person, I connect to movement a lot better than connecting to words.
Yes.
I think it's something to do with executive function also.
Yes.
That when if you were to give me a piece of writing now, and I read, I wouldn't understand it. It would be hard to comprehend it.
Right.
So through workshops and all, I found that I express better through movement. It's freer.
Right.
And also because I felt that a lot of compulsions in OCD manifest physically. So I thought it would be a better language to, for OCD to be
You do a lot of research in your projects that you come up with, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like for OCD, I spent an entire month with my actors just on research.
Right.
Because I feel it's a rather sensitive subject, and it should be treated with respect and care and given the care and attention.
Sure.
Yeah.
When you were casting OCD, were there any specific things you were looking for in your actors, or did you choose actors that you knew could do what you wanted them to do?
I think at that point, because it was my first show, I was just looking to work with people who I felt like wanted to work with me.
Okay.
Yeah, just that. And also who could move as an actor, like who could use their body to tell
Were
stories.
any of them OCD?
No, but
That's all right. You can.
no, okay, one of the actors, cut that out. One of the actors.
Why cut it out?
I don't know.
Oh,
Wait, I'm outing someone.
That's okay.
Okay, so some of the actors, one of them have very high anxiety
Right.
in her daily life.
Yes.
So, and the rest, one of them has this, it's probably not, it's not OCD, but she has a very structured mind.
Okay.
Yeah, which I thought could be.
Kind of borderline OCD. Is it? Yeah.
Well, without the anxiety.
Without the anxiety.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's more the personality.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then after OCD, you ventured into.
Oh wait, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
And
something else. Yeah.
So one of them was the psychology student, so now a clinical psychologist.
Oh.
So it was great to have her to make sure we're on the right telling the
Right,
true
right.
story.
But you also used it as an educational tool, right? Because
Yes.
you had
yeah.
professionals come in and
Yeah.
answer questions after the show.
Yeah. So I worked with Malaysian Mental Health Association. So every night after the show, there was a psychologist, psychiatrist to
Right.
to answer a Q&A session.
And I think the audience really appreciated that. It was a very it was very worthwhile, actually. Not only was it entertaining and sort of insightful, but it was also very educational, which was great. After OCD, you did another production, Inaud.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you like to tell us something about that?
Inaud was mainly inspired by a rejection from a school that I wanted to study in, and they rejected me basically because of Tourette's. They call it a specific singularity. They don't want to take a risk on that.
Right.
So it was the only school I really wanted to go to.
This was in France, was it?
Yeah, in France. So, and then I thought, and then I started reading about neurodiversity.
Yes.
Which basically is the understanding that neurological differences are just it's just like any other human variation. Yeah.
Right.
That needs to be recognized and respected.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was working on Inaud a totally different experience for you than working on OCD?
Yes, definitely. Because Inaud, I tried to work with dancers and a choreographer. Yeah. So OCD, I did not have that. Yeah, it was just mainly actors. Okay. So it was a different experience. Yeah.
Was one more meaningful to you than the other, or both had their own value?
Both had their own value.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Definitely.
Right. And a lot of research went into
There were research too.
Yes.
There was research. It wasn't like intensive one-one, but like I gave them things to read and then we discussed it in the rehearsal space. Definitely have research because
Yes.
You need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, you're a bit like that. Yeah. So you, as a director myself and as an actor, I know the importance of. I'll repeat that. I know the importance of research, but obviously because you're dealing with such sensitive material, research is very important. Yeah,
definitely.
Because you don't want to screw up, do you?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to screw up and give a false interpretation or false narrative of things, because like mental health issues can easily be trivialized. And you don't want that. And I really want people to know that this is what is happening, and these are voices that need to be heard.
Does it bring joy to your heart that nowadays mental health issues are discussed more openly?
Definitely.
Because, as you know, I mean, several years back, it was almost, no, I don't want to talk about my mental health.
I didn't even know what was happening to myself.
But it must be for everyone, I think. I mean, I take great joy when people are honest and open about what their frailties are. Does it affect you that way?
Definitely, it gives me more courage. Right. Definitely. So I feel like I have the courage to do things like that. I want to encourage, to pass this courage to people as well. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Let's. So, why is it then? And I suppose I know the answer to this, but why is it that you are very interested and very sort of focused on these social issues and mental health issues?
I feel perhaps, obviously, it's because I go through it myself, but I feel like right now, people with disabilities remains among one of the most marginalized communities in the world. And yet and because of that, our voices are not heard at all.
Right.
In our society, people tend to forget these marginalized communities, people with disabilities. We are not heard, we are neglected, and people see us as a burden. And I feel, as an artist, I feel like there's sort of responsibility in me to
Give it a voice.
give it a voice,
Yeah.
to bridge this gap, hopefully, to bring awareness and understanding, and so that people can, different communities can empathize with each other, with people who are different from them. Yeah, I think it's very important for that.
I think I personally, and not because I love you or anything, but which I do, but I truly believe that your two productions that you have done have so much gravitas, you know, so much weight to them, and it sort of brings a certain what's the word? A certain when you want to justify something, or when you want to doing or being involved in the performing arts, it brings a certain
Meaning? No.
what is it? What? Purpose. Thank you, Amah.
Purpose.
Thank you. That's why he's there. Thank you. Yeah, it brings a certain purpose to doing.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we need any additional purposes, because performing arts is performing arts, but this does. It brings an additional purpose to the performing arts.
Definitely.
And it must make you feel good.
I think I can be doing more.
You think?
I can be doing more.
Of course you can do more.
Because what I've done is use my own voice, but I want to be able to give these people their own space. Like I feel like I have the opportunity to give a space for them, so I would like to be able to do that soon.
Okay. Can we move on to a slightly different area of your life? At the moment, you are in the process of putting together a program with T4YP alumni called Emergence. Would you like to tell us what that's about?
Okay. So I've emailed every alumni from 2015 to last year, 2019, to see if they were interested to create their own work. Because I feel like the entire program of T4YP is just 6 months of them as an actor and helping us devise things. But I wanted to give them a space to create their own, and to see how to create their own process, and just a space for them to do things, to create work. And so we currently have 8 groups of actors devising their own pieces based on the theme love and loss.
Love and loss.
Yeah. So what my role and Mark's role in it is to just guide them, so that they are on their path, so they know what to do. But we don't want to creatively change things for them. Yeah.
You're leaving it up to them, and all you're there to do is just to sort of put it together, so to speak. Okay. And are you enjoying that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good. All right. I'm getting the nod from Omar again. We're running out of time. But I just want to talk about your work away from social issues. Your work as an actor.
Okay.
Because you do a lot of work as an actor, don't you? You have done a lot of work as an actor. Are there any particular roles that you have truly enjoyed?
Well, my last show with you, Stories for Amah.
Stories for Amah is a beautiful play.
I relate to it so much.
Yeah. It was a great
Mark's writing.
And you did a wonderful job, I might add. But also you've played one of the 3 witches in Dato Seri. You've done a lot, actually, yes?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but you enjoy acting, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you prefer to act, or do you prefer to be on the other side?
Well, it depends also, I guess, because acting, you don't need to be responsible with the entire thing. So if I don't have space in my head to construct a production, I rather act.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
it's a different feel also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to say before I say goodbye to the audience?
Yeah. A little understanding and being compassionate to people who are different from us it goes a long way. Yeah. It gives people courage to live.
It certainly
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That was Lee Ching, Ho Lee Ching. No one like her in the world. She's unique, absolutely unique. So that was Lee Ching talking about what she does best, scream a lot. So thank you very much for being with us. We'll see you again next week.